This will be presented by some of the members of the TEDx Club. So in the TEDx Club, we provide them a platform like this one this morning, where they can share topics that they're passionate about. And at the same time, we try to help them develop confidence in public speaking skills. That being said, our presenters today are still quite nervous, so may I ask you to please listen attentively and please be active participants if they ask you to participate. So thank you very much. I hope you learned something from today.
Morning, everyone. Let me start my talk by asking you a question. Can I please ask everyone to stand up? Okay, so I have a series of questions. If the answer to the question is yes, please remain standing. If the answer to the question is yes, just stand. Please remain standing. Okay. Please remain standing if you have been late to school at least once this year. Okay. Please remain standing if you have been late to school at least twice this year. Okay, hold on again. Please remain standing if you have been late today on a late start day. Tick-tock, the clock is ticking. Imagine you're in school. 8 o'clock a.m. This is when class starts, but students could still be rushing towards their classrooms, sweating and hoping that their conduct cards would be signed. 11:15 a.m. You would probably be eating in the cafeteria already, but I would still be in Miss Tiger's room, staring at an logarithmic equation that could be solved in seconds. 3 p.m. Everyone knows it, dismissal, but not for people like me. I would have to go to Miss Tiger's remedial to finish a work that has been marked with the letter M. Y'all know what that means? 7:30 p.m. This is when students start to cram and stress about the math unit test tomorrow. 7-1, 7-2, 7-3. Wait, where are my other worksheets? Did she even return them? Oh wait, I don't really remember how to do this. Oh wait, I forgot about IB, the IB students. 12 a.m. Awake. 1 a.m. Still awake. 2 a.m. Falling asleep but staying awake. And lastly, 3 a.m. Staying awake but has really fallen asleep. See, we get self-conscious with time, and it's almost always that we feel rushed into completing so many tasks. The more we get conscious about time, the more it seems to go by really fast. But time itself moves in a constant linear pattern. Before anything else, let me give you some background information about the time-telling device The clock. Does anyone know where the word clock comes from? It comes from the medieval Latin word cloca, which means bell. Here are some of the list of some famous clock inventions. Before, we didn't have clocks yet. We have what we call the sundials, which were first used in 293 BC. But even though other clock devices were invented, they were still used until the late 19th century. Next, we have the water clock, which was first used in 1400 BC. It's quite similar to an hourglass, except water is flowing, not sand. Now let's move on to the mechanical clocks. First, we have the weight-driven clocks, which were first used at the beginning of the 30th century. These clocks were commonly used in churches, but they were heavy because they used weights. This is the oldest working mechanical clock in the world. It can be found in the Salisbury Cathedral in England. It has been working since 1309. We also have the coil spring in 1450, and the wristwatches in 1510, pendulum in 1657, which made clocks more accurate. And we have the cuckoo clocks in 1775. This is the main point of my presentation today, to give you time management tips which might be quite new to you. To make it easier for you guys to memorize and remember, I have an acronym for it. SOSH. S, set priorities. U, use a personal planning tool. S, switch tasking. H, handle distractions. Number 1, S, set priorities. Setting priorities means distinguishing the difference between what is important and what is urgent, because not all of the important ones are urgent, according to experts. This can be a real issue, because usually urgent means it needs attention. But what if we focus on what has to be done, then what really matters, right? Here's a pointed square-ish that shows 4 possibilities of how a task could be. But I want you to simply create a to-do list that shows all of your works and deadlines. Then I want you to look at all of your tasks, then see which one is both urgent and important, and focus on doing that one first. Next, use a planning tool. It's important for us to have a personal planning tool because it makes it easier for you to track your productivity. Here are some of the apps that I recommend you to use. Pomodoro is basically a timer, and it helps you stay on task, knowing that you're being timed. Google Notes, it's an electronic planner, and it helps you, it's a good place for you to create your to-do list, and it helps you set reminders for your coming test. Lastly, we have My Home Student Planner, and what makes it different is that it specifies the type of homework you have. Please take note of these following apps because it might be helpful to some of you. Let's remember again. What's number 1? Pomodoro. The second one is Google Notes. And third one is My Homework Student Planner. Okay. Number 3, S, switch tasking. Psychological studies have shown that multitasking does not save time because no one can multitask. It's only a myth. According to neuroscientist Miller, you are not paying attention to 2 things simultaneously. You are switching them very rapidly. So instead of multitasking, we are actually switch tasking. If you still believe that you can multitask, here's an exercise for you. So I want the 7th graders to try saying letters A to E. Come on, guys, it's easy. Ready, set, ready, begin. A, B, C, D, E. Now I want the 8th graders to try say the first letter and the first number with the second letter and second number until it goes on. Ready? Begin! A1, B2, C3, D4, D5. Easy, right? Now, let's go to harder one. I want the ninth graders to say letters A to J. Ready? Begin. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Now I want my batchmates, the 10th graders. This is much easier. Count numbers 1 to 10. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, similar thing. I want both 9th and 10th graders to try reciting them alternately. You should end up with 10, but try beginning with letter A. Okay, same thing. Ready? Begin. A1, B2, C3, D4, D5, F6, D7. I can tell that most of you finished, but we're finishing it slowly because you were trying to figure out the next number or letter. See, I told you, no one can multitask. And don't try to give yourself a headache like this guy over there. But switch tasking to work instead. Maybe if you feel exhausted doing your English essay outline or writing your English essay outline, maybe you can switch to studying for your math test. And lastly, H. Handle distractions. What are distractions? These are factors that prevent us from giving our attention to something. So it's basically wasting your time. Here are some of the common distractions that I see. Browsing social media sites and playing video games. This is also my issue, but this is what I do to cope with it. I'm going to use YouTube as an example. First, I'm going to find a really interesting video, but instead of watching it, I would use it as a reward when I finish all of my works. So in that way, instead, my distractions become my rewards and my motivation to finish all of my work. Let's recall the acronym again. Such, what does S mean?